Hello and welcome back to the Fast Forward podcast. I am your host, Nicole, also known as PitStopNic. And today we have another Nicole. It's quite rare that I chat to people with the same name as me, but today was very special because we are chatting to Nicole Havrda, who is in her rookie year of F1 Academy. Today's episode is also in partnership with TeamViewer and F1 Academy, where we're spotlighting some incredible up-and-coming female talent in the motorsport world. Now, TeamViewer did a study in partnership with Loughborough University London, where they look at women in sport tech and really understand on a deeper level how representation and visibility matters in the workplace, in the paddock, all around the world, and they have fed it through into their partnership with F1 Academy. So they've chatted to people in 25 different countries, done 155 different surveys. So there are some really interesting insights that I chat to Nicole about, and we talk about her career so far, what it was like growing up in Canada, and how she is using all of her past experience in her F1 Academy season this year. Nicole's journey started back in 2019 in karting, and she moved up to cars in 2022. She also became the first ever female champion of the Formula Pro USA series. She also has experience in GTs, in endurance racing, but now she is focused on her single-seater career in F1 Academy. So I hope you all loved the chat just as much as I did with Nicole. So please welcome her to the podcast. Welcome to the Fast Forward podcast. It's lovely to have you here, Nicole.
Yeah,
Nicole Squared. Let's start off. How are you? Just
I'm
in general.
good. I'm good. Yeah.
You doing well?
Yeah, enjoying my time here in London.
Yeah. How have you found London?
A lot.
Yeah.
Weather is crazy.
Do you know what? You missed a really nice period of sunshine.
No, I was here.
Were
I
you?
was
Okay,
here.
fine.
I came on, I think it was Thursday.
Uh-huh. All right.
week.
Okay.
So it was like good. And then I spent time in Silverstone, and then I came to London and I spent time here for like the premiere and then this stuff.
Yeah.
So just, you know, I swear I did like 30,000 steps a day. Wow. Just walking because
So you don't need to do your workouts then.
Literally, like I'm literally like I'm somewhere in like central London with my hotel, and I just walked like big touristy places, and I'm like,
because
oh,
you
it's easy.
sometimes think, oh, I must use the underground for everything, or I must get bus, taxi,
literally
whatever.
don't.
But if you're walking everywhere, that's good going.
Yeah, my feet hurt only a bit, but
So
it's fine.
Maybe a rest day is in order.
At least I have good shoes.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, exactly. So how are you finding F1 Academy so far?
Really good, really good. Really like just, you know, the marketing I think is huge. The racing is really good. And just, you know, learning a lot, because like, you know, the first race in China was quite a lot because, you know, like when you get out of the pits and you sit in front of the like F1 garages is quite crazy. And then looking up at the crowd and stuff, it's like kind of surreal.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of like, I'm
Is this actually
here.
happening?
Like, yeah, it's quite crazy. And then like seeing like other F1 drivers and like seeing like even Susie Wolf, like it's crazy, like to have her like in her paddock and stuff.
Yeah.
It is quite surreal, like just everything. But honestly, it's really good. Just, you know, learning, especially since it's like my first year. So I'm just learning with the team and learning the car, and I've never driven this car. So it's just all
Getting
about
to grips with it all.
Yeah, just kind of like everything coming at me.
So let's start off quickly with some quick fire questions. Otherwise I'll get carried away. We'll do 4 or 5 questions. So first up, what is the track that you're most excited to race on this year? Could be one that you've already raced on, or could be one coming up.
I gotta say my home race in Canada, Montreal.
Yeah, of course.
I loved Miami and Vegas. Vegas is gonna be so
That's
cool.
gonna be. Do you know what? It gets a lot of hate from the fans, but I always really have enjoyed the Vegas racing.
I just think I'm a little worried because it's cold and we're in the night and it's a desert.
Yeah.
So I don't know about
Getting
that
your
part.
tires up to temperature might be a little bit more tricky.
Like that part is fine because in the car you're like actually warm, but I don't like being out of the car and cold. I don't like wearing a jacket. I'm more of a short person or a skirt person. And
so having to have a big jacket and wrap up warm.
I don't like that.
Not for you.
No.
This isn't very quick fire, Buzz, is it?
No.
Okay, what is the weirdest song that hypes you up pre-race? Because I've seen your Instagram, I've seen that you have a good like music taste to post, you know, you soundtrack your posts, so.
I'm literally so bad right now.
Okay.
I'm in a Spanish era right now.
Okay.
I'm getting out of it though. I'm getting out of it right now. But I would say Azul by J Balvin, I think his name is. Yeah, I love that one.
Do you know what? I'm the exact same. And I think it's because I saw a few videos of the Barcelona football team dancing. and now my whole For You page is Lamine Yamal and him and all of the team dancing.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely also in that Spanish music
Oh yeah,
era.
the TikTok dance.
All of them. So what is one word that you think your friends would use to describe you?
Hectic.
Hectic.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Just
I like
because
it.
like all the traveling, because they don't understand as much.
sure.
So they're like, she's in Italy, she's in London, like she's in Miami.
Can't
like
keep up.
Yeah, literally. Like I feel like a lot of people say they're living my life through my Instagram. So it's,
I mean,
like,
at least they're staying updated.
it's a lot. Yeah. So.
Yeah. Nice. And then what is your most niche racing ick, or something about the racing world that gives you a bit of an ick?
I'd say the biggest one is like overconfident drivers. Like it kind of gives me the ick just because like I get it, we all want to win and we're all like quite good and all that kind of stuff. So it's like when someone keeps putting it in my face that they're like super good and all this kind of stuff, I'm like, come on, just like I don't care.
I don't need that.
Like,
I don't need that energy.
The amount of stuff that's already going through my head, and I just don't care for that extra thing. So
exactly, you need to stay focused and locked in on the race. Amazing. And last question, would you rather go 1 year without your phone or 1 year without racing?
The phone, 100%. I hate my phone. I want to throw it out the window sometimes. No, because it's just like I'm always on it.
Yeah, fair
and
enough.
like, so I have a long distance boyfriend, which is really hard because I'm always on my phone. Like I'll be like texting or just like even at the races, like I just have to like tone it down just because I have to focus.
Yeah.
And like we both honestly get frustrated about it. And it's just like, it's just annoying. Like the phones, like nowadays, especially with social media, is really, really annoying because we're just always on it. And like sometimes you don't actually see the real world.
Yeah.
And I think it's super important to actually like open your eyes and enjoy what
especially
you're going
if you're
through.
traveling, like you want to make sure that you're able to actually
100%.
take in. I mean, obviously, a lot of the time you'll be at a racetrack, but it's probably nice to be able to switch off and take a step back
100%.
when you can, and see the world.
Yeah, literally, and just like enjoy the moment. Like young, like just trying to do stuff, and like I don't have to be on my phone, like stuck to a screen all the time. I don't want to waste the years.
No, exactly. Anyways, right, pass the quickfire questions because we could talk for hours.
Those were not quickfire.
No, they weren't.
Those were very long.
So, I watched a clip of you saying that you went to the Austrian Grand Prix in 2018?
Yeah.
And that was the moment that you fell in love with racing. So talk me through going to that race, loving it, and then becoming a competitive racing driver.
Yeah, so even before that race, like I was a competitive swimmer. I did that for 6 years before.
Wow.
And I was very focused on, just going first to like get a scholarship and then go to the Olympics and stuff.
Wow.
So then I was going to be a
Must have been
dentist
pretty
in school.
good.
I was like really focused.
Multi-talented.
I was like really focused on that. And I feel like for me, I always have like a goal and like I'm very like futuristic about it. Like I want to do this, this and that. And I always plan it out. But anyway, so like when I went to the Grand Prix, so my dad actually brought me there because we were going for a road trip through Europe. We have family in Prague.
Amazing.
So
nice. Oh, I love Prague so much.
I mean, I love it too. But sometimes like when you see like parts that I see, like just like living there and stuff, I'm like, it's just another city for me. But it is lovely, especially the historic part.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Like when you go downtown and stuff, it's quite nice. But yeah, so we went for a road trip. We stopped in Austria because my dad was like, oh, I just want to watch F1 Grand Prix. I've never watched, so he wanted to watch. And, I was like, I told my mom, I was like, can I just stay at the hotel? I don't want to go.
No way.
I was never into motorsports.
And that is the butterfly effect, isn't it? Like,
literally.
If you had stayed in the hotel, like, would you be here today?
Literally.
Amazing.
And I think, I was never into it. F1, the TV show wasn't out. So I was like, I didn't know anything about it. No one knew about
motorsports. The rivalries.
No one talked about it, nothing.
Yeah.
Like in Canada, it's like no one knew about it back then. Even America, it was like Formula One, what's that?
Huge. More like Indy. And
Indy is quite, those two are really big in America. But, I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just go to it. So I ended up going and just, walking up to the fence, I was like, oh, this is like exactly what I want to do because I feel like I just felt a rush of adrenaline that I never got in swimming.
Yeah.
Because swimming, I feel like I did it for so long that I just swam back and forth. I enjoyed it, but like doing it every single day, 2 hours a day was like a lot.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I didn't tend to have like that adrenaline rush or anything.
Okay. It wasn't like something that you had like a fire inside you where you were really passionate or excited about it.
No, but I definitely still swim nowadays just because I I enjoy it for like, you know, physical.
fitness, yeah.
It's so good for the shoulders. Like people
Oh,
do
yeah,
not
of
understand.
course.
Like I
Because of
swear,
the stroke.
when I was swimming,
Yeah.
my like shoulders grew so much.
Really?
I looked so weird. Like I
Like
was
top heavy.
Oh, it was so weird because like you're always like it's always like your arms are moving.
And I mean, you're still kind of using your arms and your shoulders
Yeah, exactly.
now.
So it helps a lot actually for racing because it's so like neck physical as well as like arms because it just like follows all the way to your like forearms and your wrist basically.
Yeah.
So just, you know, got that rush of
It's a
adrenaline.
good stepping stone then, the swimming.
Yeah, it was actually a really good stepping stone. It really helped, and especially like being athletic all my life helped into racing, so it wasn't something new that I had to be athletic now. Because it definitely takes quite a lot, like doing a morning training and evening training, sim sessions in the middle. Like some people say like sim sessions aren't physical. Like it's not physical, but it's like I sweat when I'm on
and
the
the
sim.
energy needed to have the focus and be so locked into it. I bet it's quite draining.
It takes a lot. Like people don't notice it until they do it. Especially mentally, it's so much. Like I'll actually be like drained by the end of like 3 hours on the sim. So
I would just have a headache from concentrating for that long.
I literally have a problem with my like eyes looking at screens nowadays.
Oh, really?
So I have to wear my blue light glasses.
Yeah.
Because I look at screens so much nowadays.
No, yeah, I need to just
give
my eyes a break.
Yeah, so if you look at any of my posts and I'm wearing glasses, they're just blue light glasses. People don't realize we look at screens so much.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're looking at the screen right now.
It's everywhere. Yeah. So you mentioned about how you kind of didn't really have it as a prevalent sport or a big thing growing up, like motorsport. Do you think if there were female drivers, you would have perhaps been more interested at a younger age? Because so the TeamViewer report says, I think it's 86% of women said seeing others in senior roles helped them believe it was possible for them too. Do you think having something like F1 Academy when you were growing up would have encouraged you maybe to get involved or have more of an interest in racing from a younger age?
Yes, 100%. I think the biggest thing when I was growing up and that I didn't see, like I didn't see racing at all. And like there were women that were racing, like you got Danica Patrick, you got Susie Wolf, you got a bunch of others. They were there, but it wasn't marketed. And nowadays, like the F1 Academy is so marketed. You literally just go on Instagram and you see it. So it's like, I mean, you literally go on Netflix now and you see it, on there, which is really, really
amazing.
Cool. And just having, you know, it pop up in your face, and I think that's a big thing nowadays for anything, but it's just like the marketing is so huge. If I got that when I was younger and saw like other women are racing, I think that would have, you know, maybe encouraged me into racing more. Like when I started racing, I was actually inspired by Lewis Hamilton because I was watching him race, and then I looked into his like past and I started watching all his videos and read books and stuff. I was always looking up to him, and I think, you know, having that kind of idol, whether it's a girl or a guy, I think it's super important because, you know, they made it there, so you can make it there as well.
Yeah, it's seeing someone do it and achieve it makes it feel more possible.
100%.
Because if you don't really understand the story or the work that's gone into it, it probably feels like so far away and just not even in touching distance.
100%.
Yeah. So apart from Lewis, did you have any other role models, or do you have any other role models now that you look to?
I mean, currently, my favorite like docu-series on Netflix is called Michael Jordan. It's the Last Dance with Michael Jordan. Good. It's really good. It's like what he's gone through and how serious he was, and just like the discipline. Like I remember in the documentary is like saying like his friends would go out, like his teammates would go out and party like after a game, and he would actually go to the court. He would keep playing and playing and playing.
Yeah, it's that mindset.
Exactly. And I think that's the biggest thing that people miss nowadays and just don't see as much, is that, you know, there's so much behind the scenes. And I think that's...
Yeah, it's that hard work that just isn't shown. It's like people see the glamorous side of it all and think, wow, that's so cool, but maybe don't know the extent of all of the hard work. So talk me through, like, what does a week in your life look like in terms of how many training sessions are you doing? Like, tell me about a week in Nicole's life.
I feel like it seems very
probably
like,
changes.
Personally, for me, it's quite boring because it's always the same.
Other people, though, probably intrigued.
I always complain to my parents how it just keeps going in circles, like the same thing. I keep doing the same thing over and over again. Well, obviously in the morning, just wake up and go to the gym. I think that's the biggest thing, like
Every
cardio.
morning.
Yeah, because I think it's good to get like a fasted cardio because I don't know, it just burns like calories. And I mean, I'm not trying to go into like a calorie deficit or anything because I want to build muscle, and my goal is to build muscle. But also stay lean and like get rid of fat. I think that's important. And just be like a lean, just full muscle. It will be really, it would be really nice. That's the goal. That's what I'm like working on with my trainers and stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously like a good breakfast is the most important.
Yeah, I need to remember that because I'm so easily.
I'm the
I
worst
just
with
skip
it. I'm the worst
But
with it.
I guess, are you quite strict with what you eat and have like a set meals that you
it's
need
gross.
to make?
It's quite gross. I don't enjoy breakfast anymore because I personally hate.
You have to have it.
I hate eating eggs. Like I don't know what it is
I don't
with
like
me.
eggs that much.
It gives me the ick. Like I don't know. It makes me want to gag sometimes. Like I actually get sick looking
I've
at the
actually
egg.
heard a lot of people talk about the egg ick.
Yeah.
It's like the consistency of it. It's
I
that
don't know.
in things, fine.
Yeah.
Eating them on their own, that's when we have a problem.
Horrible. And if someone makes me an egg and there's like the white stuff is still runny.
Or it's raw eggs. Raw eggs? No.
No, I can't do that.
Sometimes, like, especially like people that are really into building muscle in the gym will just like drink raw eggs.
Oh no.
Is that on your meal plan?
Well, the biggest thing is a lot of egg whites.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't do raw.
No.
I just cook the egg like it should be.
Yeah.
No bread.
Okay.
I'm always jealous of my boyfriend. He always eats bagels, and I love bagels with cream cheese. And he always eats them, and I want it, but it's literally just carbs. So I'm like, why am I going to eat carbs when I should be building muscle? So, yeah.
It's a complete lifestyle change.
Really annoying.
And, everything that you have to consider that people probably aren't even aware of.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
Then what are we doing?
Breakfast.
Okay.
Well, obviously shower.
Breakfast after the gym?
Are we going like right in my schedule?
Not like, I mean, I don't need to know
shower?
like 20 minutes in the shower. Just like a typical
like
day, or like, so you're working out like every day in the morning. Then do you have any other like workout sessions or sports or
Yeah,
anything?
so obviously midday do all my work. Like I have a lot of emails and just like trying to, finish stuff as well as, just also enjoy like what I'm like just like my free time sometimes. Like sometimes I'll literally go, there's a pool like downstairs in the apartment, and I'll just lay down by the pool just to take like a second to relax because there's so much going on.
To switch off and reset.
Yeah, like I'll do all my work and then I'll switch off for a second and have a second for myself. And then obviously like back to the gym. I think just like like a physical kind of, what is it, like full on workout, like either whatever my trainer gives me, honestly I just follow whatever that is, either arms or legs or just whatever, and then just at the end of the day I just end off with a sim, which I don't know why, but I actually like doing the sim at the end of the day for some reason.
So are you a night owl rather than a morning person?
Not a morning person.
That makes sense.
Definitely not a morning person.
I'm not a morning person either, so I think I would always choose to do something that requires more focus later at night, which is weird, but it sounds like it's similar for you as well.
Evening.
Yeah.
I try to be a morning person just because it's so aesthetic, but it never works out. I'm just
smoothie in the morning.
No, it never works.
Never.
No.
So once you'd been to the race in Austria, then how did you end up getting into karting, and what was the step between there and starting to race?
That was confusing because I didn't know what to do. Like, I literally started emailing from the hotel there. I was like emailing like some car places, like, the local racetrack, and like how to get into it, like driving a car, learn how to drive a manual because I was quite young. I didn't know.
So how old were you in 2018?
How old am I right now? I think I was 12 or 11.
Yeah. So you're 19 right now?
Yeah.
So
quick math.
At that stage, obviously, you weren't driving a car. No. So that was a completely new experience for you. Did you find it easy to get into it as a sport?
No.
No.
I was very confused, and especially being on the west coast of Canada, racing is not a big thing. Like, I know in America it's a little bigger, in Europe it's big, but in Canada there's nothing. There's like, I believe there's 2 big racetracks in British Columbia. And for karting, there are a few, but they're quite small and they're not noticed as much. Yeah. So like I literally had to travel 6 hours every weekend to go karting. And that's how I started in karting. And then I had to travel even more. So like, I remember when I got into cars, my parents and I, we would take the motor home and we would drive 24 hours down to California. And my parents are crazy.
Wow.
They drove straight, like direct. So they would swap every 3 hours. I don't know how they did it.
Huge driving, isn't it?
But they just wanted to get there. They were like so determined and stuff. So I was like, okay, we're going.
It sounds like they're really supportive of you.
They're
and
huge. It's
really like championing you and wanted you to succeed. How has that impacted you and your life as a racer?
I wouldn't be able to like do it if it wasn't for what they do and like how much they give me. And I know like a big thing, like right now even, like going to live on my own, I've realized how much I actually like miss them and what they've, you know, having them around all the time. And just like, I mean, they still support me as much. And I think that's like a big thing. And like being able to call my mom and all that kind of stuff is super nice. But just like sitting for a second and realizing how much they've done for me is huge. And how much they've driven, like the amount of times we went to California was crazy too. So like they've driven like so many hours, and just like also obviously money as well. They've obviously spent a lot of money on the racing and a lot of emotions. Takes a lot of emotions. It's funny to see, like I see my mom cry. That's like normal. Like I'm not normal, but like it's just, I've seen her cry. But then when my dad starts crying, it's like something else. It's like, whoa, like this is like emotional.
There's emotion involved,
which it's pretty cool to see that, because it shows how much emotion really is in it. And it does take, you know, a lot out of us as a family.
Yeah, of course. Especially results completely dictate how you feel post race weekend. Have you found that community within the F1 Academy that you're able to share? Because it's difficult, because they're your competitors at the end of the day. So I guess whilst you can find comfort in sharing experiences, they're also your biggest rivals, right? So how have you found that?
So that one's pretty interesting to look at, because yes, they're rivals, but only on the track. Like when you're, you know, in the garage, like you literally drive once a day, once on Saturday, once on Sunday. So you don't actually drive that much. So like most of the time you're spending is in that like pit where you're sitting, you're talking, you're chatting, you're trying to, like, me and my teammate were quite like crazy. We're chaotic. We're always all over the place. We have fun, because you don't want to just sit there alone and be bored. I think like that would drain me, and I would just be, I don't know, I get bored sometimes very easily. So I just try to, you know, keep entertained. And I think the F1 Academy is really good for that, because we're always like together. We're so close. Like we're literally all together. So it's quite nice to, you know, have each other to, like, you know, even when you have a bad race, to come off track and be able to talk to them. Even though like we were racing against each other, we still understand each other, and we still talk and like talk about it, whatever happened. And it's just, you know, having each other there.
Yeah, of course. And I think that's so special about this series, because it really feels like you've got each other whilst, yes, you are racing on another. I think this is quite rare. If you look at other sports, other series, it's not often that you have that. So it's amazing that you've got the amazing network of people around you. I think that is all we've got time for, but I could sit and chat here for hours and hours. But thank you so much. It's been so lovely to chat. Best of luck with your home race and the rest of the calendar. I'll be watching on legally. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.